Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a cinematic 16:9 educational breakdown of what is, quite literally, a legendary hero's journey. We're looking at a story that completely defies the odds, mapping out the trajectory of a figure you already know across the globe, Cristiano Ronaldo. But hey, we aren't just looking at the shiny trophies today. We're tracking the unbelievable, step-by-step transformation from a profound point of hardship all the way to the absolute pinnacle of global sports. Get ready, because the sheer scale of this transformation is absolutely fascinating.
Okay, let's dive into this. The core quote from our source material perfectly frames this whole journey, from poverty to pitch king. We're establishing right off the bat just how massive the gulf is between where this athlete started and where he ultimately ended up. I mean, it's a completely unbelievable leap between two entirely opposite ends of the human experience.
Just think about the contrast here. On one side, we have a poor boy from Madeira, a small island defined, at least in this context, by its severe lack of wealth and opportunity. And then, compare that to his eventual status as a reigning football legend. The geographic and economic starting point is so incredibly humble, it makes his ultimate destiny on the pitch seem honestly almost mathematically impossible.
Section 1. The Boy from Madeira.
Our source notes his beginnings on that small island, but let's take a second to really think about what that baseline actually meant for his everyday mindset. When you're completely stripped of advantages, no high-tech training facilities, no financial safety net, it creates a very distinct psychological environment. When your daily reality is just basic economic survival, the path to global sports supremacy doesn't just feel obscured, it feels totally non-existent. The odds of breaking out were staggeringly low. And what that means is any drive to succeed had to come purely from within, fueled by a kind of desperation that most professional athletes never even experience.
Section 2. A Racing Heart. So what does it actually mean for a young, aspiring athlete to be diagnosed with a racing heart condition? Well, think about the fundamental requirements of professional football. You need immense cardiovascular endurance, sudden, explosive sprinting, relentless physical exertion. A racing heart condition is an existential threat to all of that. It isn't just a minor injury like a sprained ankle. It's a severe physiological barrier right at the core of the body's engine. It directly threatened not just his career aspirations, but, his very life.
Now, what's really interesting to ponder here is this. Usually, a severe physical limitation, like a heart condition, is the absolute end of an athletic dream. It's the exact moment most people would pack it in and quit. So how does a terrifying obstacle of this magnitude actually become the very catalyst that forged an unstoppable drive? It's a massive paradox. How does facing your own physical fragility turn into the ultimate fuel for resilience?
Section 3. Working to the top. Tracing this journey chronologically, we see a wild progression. Phase 1. He starts with the stark reality of poverty in Madeira. Phase 2. That reality is quickly compounded by the terrifying diagnosis of his heart condition. Now, these first two phases are massive, crushing setbacks, but the bridge between those early struggles and Phase 4, his eventual status as a football legend, is what truly defines him. That bridge, Phase 3, is a prolonged, intense period of immense, relentless hard work. He didn't just passively arrive at the top, right? He had to actively forge a path out of those compounding massive deficits.
And this brilliantly illustrates the internal mechanics of how he actually did it. Step 1. Survive the economic realities of Madeira. Step 2. Overcome that life-threatening physical malfunction. Pulling this off required way more than just raw talent. It demanded an ironclad mindset. The sheer willpower required to apply relentless effort, day in and day out, despite all those earlier traumas, that is what ultimately earned him the crown. He quite literally had to outwork financial deprivation and the threat of physical ruin just to secure his place at the absolute top.
Section 4. The Football Legend.
The source leaves absolutely no ambiguity about the end result here. He became the definitive pitch king and a true football legend. And the word legend gets thrown around a lot these days, but it isn't used lightly here. It signifies someone whose story completely transcends the game itself. All of that compounding adversity, met head-on with compounding effort, forged a legacy that totally eclipsed his humble, difficult beginnings.
So, I want to leave you all with this final, provocative thought. Is extreme adversity, things like debilitating childhood poverty and a terrifying racing heart condition, the exact necessary fuel required to build a true pitch king? Would he have ever reached the same legendary status without those massive obstacles pushing him forward? It's a completely fascinating testament to the power of human resilience. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time.